with traffic Lufthansa 1 to us. We're doing the base now at 5,000 feet. We'll be on the base in 4 minutes.
Didn't hear a word of that, but still, let's have a look. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Bear with me. Already I've got a phone call. Bloody talk calling me about my fibre. Anyway, where was I? Welcome to Milan Linate Airport. Welcome to the gorgeous ITA Airways Echo India Delta Tango Echo, which is an Airbus A320, the Fenix Airbus A320 with CFM engines. Today is another charter flight. Thank you once again to Niklas Hartlef. He chartered the previous flight and this one at the same time. Very generous indeed. We're going to be going back to the origin airport of the last flight today. We're going to be flying from Milan Linate to Hamburg. It's a gorgeous day, as you can see, here in Italy, and I'm really excited to see what we can get up to in this fantastic looking aircraft. We're going to jump into the plane itself and just go over a few things while we're here. We are ITARROW 2 November Hotel today. We are flying to Hamburg. We're on the Fenix 6 X-ray departure. We're here at stand 10. QNH is 1010. Block fuel 7842. Flight level 360. Cost index 25. Although on SimBrief at the moment it says flight level 180 as my cruise altitude, which I definitely do not want. We're going to connect to VATSIM. We are going to be... Oh, I got this wrong before as well. I put ITA rather than ITI like that. What was it again? 2 November Hotel. And we are in an A320. And we are not in a Prestige. We are definitely not in a Prestige. And everything should come to life shortly. Now, you may see it's a little bit more jittery in terms of my mouse. I've turned the refresh rate down on my monitors today, hoping to save a little bit of resource, just so I can then pump a little bit more frame rate into Flight Sim. We're still getting about 30 FPS, and it's not colossal. But this may be the last flight that I do on this PC. I'm not sure. Hoping to build my new PC by the end of this week, i.e. tomorrow. So we'll see whether I can get that done, whether we can crack on. This is the route today. We're going to be going forward onto Delta and then Foxtrot Echo Golf, and then we're going to be going on runway 17, and we are going to be going back on ourselves on the Trev 6 X-ray and then just north up through Europe and in towards the wonderful arrival. I love German arrivals at airports. They all have these really big square run up to the airfield, and it's really good for spacing and really good for planning your route, and it just gives you a bit more time to get some altitude knocked off. So I like flying into German airports for that reason. Okay, battery switches 1 and 2, external power in the wrong order. Strobe goes to auto, nav and logo light comes on, crew oxygen supply, nav left, right and centre. Do some fire tests. We've not had the beep yet, so I don't think it'll work. No, it will not. That's fine. No smoking signs to auto. Arm the emergency exits. Cracking. We'll put the outer pumps on, because why not? And then we'll ask GSX for some boarding, shall we?
Boarding requested.
Okay. Don't know if there's anybody else on the ground here at Linate at the moment. Doesn't look like it. Seems like we're the only aircraft here for the time being. It is actually quite a quiet airport, to say the least, is Linate. Not really a massive amount to look at and do. Let's do the fire tests. There we go, APU fire test. Beautiful, and engine 2. Great stuff. It doesn't automatically open the doors on this thing, I don't think, the cargo doors. No, it doesn't. It's really weird. I've set it to do it before. Let's not attach the pushback tug now. Yes, thanks to TalkTalk, I'm late. I get it, I know. Sim settings, auto door simulation, see? Okay, so passengers are being boarded, so we need to make our way down the checklist. I had it the wrong way, actually, earlier on my little clipboard here. So we've got everything all sorted up top. We've got the strobe to auto and all that good stuff. We need to go down to the MCDU then and get our init done. We need our original init request on here. Wait for that to pop everything in. And then we can put the flight number in today, which is ITARROW 2 November Hotel. Nicholas's initials. Cost index is 25 today, and we're going to go for flight level 360 on that, and I need to have a look in a little bit at what the actual MCDU thinks that that's going to be. Mass and balance, we're going to load the aircraft instantly and we're going to send it to the MCDU. That's put all of that in. It's got the block fuel in as well, which is great to see. We're then going to go to our flight plan and we're going to put the departure and the arrival in. So we're going to be going off runway 17 this morning, and we are going to be on the Trev 6 X-ray departure, which is that one, and we're going to go via the Pep 1 Charlie. And on the way to Hamburg today, we are going to be, there's boarding done already, we're on the Nolgo 3 Papa for runway 23, ILS 23, Nolgo 3 Papa. Don't remember if there was a transition. It is Nolgo, so let's see if we can do the via. No via. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. We'll see if there's any discontinuities in that. I imagine there may be one on the way in because I think you have to manually turn it in onto the ILS. Let's see, you've got all these DHs and then there might be one. Yes, there, because that's when you get into CI23. So we'll take over with that. We'll keep that as is for now in the MCDU anyway. Let's do our takeoff config, or our performance I should say. Sync the load sheet, sync the live weather. We've got LIML, calculate that. 134, 134, 137, flaps 1 today. Nice, flex to temp is 67, that's cool. Prog, flight level 360 is in there, so it knows exactly what I want. That makes me a very happy boy. QNH today is 1010, and it is synced up, I'm delighted to say. Let's go into standard pressure, square that up, pop that back in, put the constraints in. What's our initial altitude on the departure? I'm just talking words now. Above flight level 090 on that one, but we're on the Trevi, so it's 905. Initial climb clearance. Is there any? Transition altitude is 6,000. 9.5. We have to be above. 9,500 we'll go to. We'll have an initial climb all the way up there. Great stuff. Okay. IR line in 1 minute, so we've still got time for that. We need to make sure we're squawking. Yes, we'll go on to TA, put that on auto. We're going to put predicted wind shear on nice and early as well. We'll lock the cabin door, pop that on as well so we can hear the cabin crew in a little bit when we get them ready. Now that boarding is completed, we can put the seatbelt signs on and put those central pumps on as well. Not sure there's anything else left to do at this point, to be honest with you. We need to whack the APU on before we get moving back. But yeah, feeling absolutely great about this. We are a little bit late, but then again, we are in Italy. I don't think I've ever been in a flight out of Italy that has been on time. We will just wait and see then for the IR to align, everything else to be ready, and we'll be good to go shortly, I think. Actually, you know what? Let's start the APU now, shall we? Master switch, give it a few seconds, and then start. Okay, looks like we're the only person on the ground here actually at Milan. Everything's all good, to be honest, so we just need to make sure that we prepare for pushback and departure now. So we need to click that. The stairs will go away, the doors will then go away as well. I hope. Yep. There we go, and we're going to get ready to go. Simple as that. I feel like I've got this preparation down in the Airbus now, and it goes very, very quickly.
We are ready for pushback.
Oh no, but you're warped through the tug, you poor man. I do have a GSX profile for this place. Clearly hasn't worked. This is the Jetstream Milan Linate. I think this is the third time I've flown out of here now. I've done a couple of flights from this place. It's a very quiet and small airport. Let's just check we're transmitting on Unicom. Oh no, we're not. The sticker's disconnected. It does this. There we go, we've done it. We've also got IR aligned now, so everything's all ready to go. Let's just check again that we are now transmitting. We are, cool. Okay. Linate traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, preparing to taxi from stand 10 to runway 17. We should have gone forwards. We shouldn't push back here. I'm being a bit of an idiot. It is what it is. I've done this twice now. It's just you get into the habit of pushing back. So, you know, it's what happens. Turn the external power off. We'll turn the APU bleed on. Beacon light will come on. We need to whack that on. Beacon is on. Parking brake is set. Thrust lever is all good. APU and APU bleed. Engine mode is going to go into ignition. It seemed to do that for me. Do we just click continue pushback or something? Continue pushback. We're going to go nose right, tail left.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes are off.
Push. All engines clear. Started with.
Okay, he's pushing back, so let's go down here. We'll put engine mode into ignition, and then we will start engine number 1, shall we? Let's pop some fuel in. Okay, we've pushed back. Bit naughty, but it is what it is. He'll ask us to set parking brakes any second now.
Set parking
There we go. Parking brakes set. He may lower the aircraft down now, I think. Actually, no, it's just a bar, isn't it? It's not lifted us up or anything, so he's going to go and disconnect that. Let's start engine number 2.
Unlocking here. Right is clear.
The tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. Further.
Okay, so we've got PTU fault again. We've had this before. Hydraulic PTU fault. But we've got full PSI on all 3. That's really strange, isn't it? We've had that before, though. So we can now, after the engines have turned off, we can put the engine mode back into normal. We get the flaps set for takeoff. Flaps will be 1. We need to arm the speed brakes, which is down here. We need to go back up top and then turn the APU bleed and then the APU master switch off. We need to then set the pitch trim and the rudder trim and all that. We'll just do the pitch trim here. The rudder trim, sorry. Pop that on. Speed brakes are armed. Need to check the cabin in a minute when we get going. And by that I mean I'm just going to do it now. Runway turn-off's on. Taxi light comes on. Okay. We're good to go. I've had that issue before and nothing has happened as a result of it. It's just something that happens, I think. I don't quite know why it's happened, but yeah, there's nothing showing up here that causes any alarm. So,
Hi, Captain.
yeah,
The cabin
I
is
don't
now
know.
secure for takeoff.
Okay. Linate traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, taxiing runway 17. Okay, parking brakes off. We'll move it forward a little bit. Today. And then we'll do a quick brake test. Nice. Okay. Thanks once again, Niklas Hartlef, for chartering this flight today. We are on our way to Hamburg. Should be, block time is 1 hour and 55 minutes on this flight. Feels like a really lovely quick turnaround this morning. We are squawking 2000. We're going to go to holding point. I've written down holding point Gulf here, so let me just check where that is. That's the wrong airport, Chaz. We're going to go off the end of a taxiway here, so I need to bring Piggy to a stop very suddenly. Gulf is literally this one, so we're going right here. There's no need for us to wait really or anything, so we're just going to whack the landing lights on. Strobe goes on. Nose light goes to takeoff. And we're going to get on with it. Linate traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel will depart runway 17 without delay. There's Gulf. We've got all of our lights and everything on. We're going to turn this little chrono on down here. Just this little one here. Pop that on. I quite like patchy airfields like this. You can tell when they've had like runway repairs and stuff. We need to do our takeoff config test. We're going to go all the way down here. The aircraft hasn't picked anything up yet and put anything on the ECAM, which concerns me. But we've got speed brakes armed, we've got flaps set for takeoff, we've got the cabin checked. Everything. Everything. Are we ready? Okay, let's build her up. 50%. It's a little bit more than that. All good to go. Let's go to Hamburg. Manflex 67, SRS, no runway. Auto thrust is blue. $80 knots. 100 knots. Released forward pressure. 120. V1. Rotate. Nice rotation, positive rate, gear up. little bit of a rock back and forth there for just a moment. Fantastic sounds from the CFM engines. A little bit of a freeze and a stutter here and there. Lovely view out the window. Cracking. Still getting that we've got a PTU fault, but we will continue on without worrying that. Ground spoiler's no longer armed. Lever will go into climb in just a moment. We'll flick the seatbelt signs on and off for the cabin crew. Turn the nose light off, turn the runway turn-offs off. Lever into climb. Oh, I love that noise when it winds down slightly. Linate traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, passing 2,500 feet. Have a good day. Thought it was like I was telling them to have a good day, you know. Make sure you have a good day. Aircraft is now gaining a bit of speed. I was a bit concerned when I rolled onto the runway that auto throttle wasn't armed, but it doesn't arm until you get on with it, does it? Obviously, we've got the lever in climb. The aircraft knows what to do with it. Lovely conditions today. 1010 QNH. The QNH at the other end at the moment is apparently 1011. We're not quite at S speed yet, so we're not taking the flaps up. Just flying the departure by hand. We're following this little pattern here with a slight view out of the window. We're going to be going in a straight line, and we're going to get to 9,500 feet very soon. S speed has been reached. Flaps have come up, gaining lots of speed now. As we climb even further, we're going to put the autopilot in. Okay, let's just check the checklist to make sure there's nothing else that we've done or forgotten to do. Terrain on ND we're going to put in, why not? There's a little bit of terrain around here in the north of Italy. Transponder, ooh, didn't go to TARROW. Forgot about that. I'm going to make sure that's on as well in the meantime. Beacon, nav, logo, all that. Nose light came off, didn't it? Landing lights are on. We need to go into standard pressure as we continue on our way up. We've gone through 6,000 feet, which is where that is. Yeah, great. Absolutely great. We can probably take the seatbelt signs off. We'll do that when we get to 10,000 feet. But what a fantastic departure and what a lovely day here in the north of Italy. Okay, and now we're at 9,500 feet. We're going to tell the aircraft to go all the way up to our cruising altitude today of 360. And just as we press that and put it into managed, I'm going to go down onto the MCDU and I'm going to check that we have that in prog, flight level 360. Cool, so it knows where our climb is going to be, and the aircraft will indeed climb. Okay, so we're climbing now through 14,000 feet. We're getting to our cruise speed effectively, and the aircraft has been told 36,000. Landing lights need to come off and seatbelt signs need to also come off as well. Everything else is fine and dandy from what I remember. Next thing we do will be to put the landing lights on, and obviously, well, on the way back down we're going to prepare for our descent. We're going to be going over the Alps today, as you can see in front. Frame rate is once again kicking my arse, so I'm getting more and more glad every day that I am building a new PC for this. I'm going from an RTX 2070 and a Ryzen 7 3800X to an RTX 4070 Super and a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. So it's going to be quite the improvement, to say the least. Still, we're going to carry on climbing, and we'll jump forward to when we get to the top of our climb and into cruise altitude, shall we? Just a fantastic sight at the moment of these Alps in front of us here. A lovely, lovely part of the flight this. I always love flying in and out of Italy, especially when I'm also going to somewhere else in Europe, because it's very often that you do go over the Alps like this. I know they're not the highest res and it's not the real thing, but it's still cool. Got a lot of terrain showing up on the ND as a result here, as you can see. As we make our way over, we're going to turn right soon and be way above them. The aircraft is climbing brilliantly right now, even if the frame rate isn't 27,000 feet. Brilliant stuff. 34,000 feet now, and going along nicely. It's a very snowy part as we look over the Alps here. Fantastic sight though. I don't care if it's digital or not full res, it's still wonderful. Flight is going very, very well indeed. We're going to be in the cruise for not a massive amount of time, I don't believe. Let me just go on to Perth and look at the top of descent. 10:33 UTC, and it is, yeah, 9:53 now, so about bob on half an hour. Actually, no, wait, that's 40 minutes. Jesus. Yeah, about 40 minutes we're going to be in the cruise. We're going to get there very, very soon, so we're going to whack this all the way up and have that on airport so we know what we're 160 miles away from. But yeah, unfortunately, frame rate has not been on my side recently. I've not made any major changes to my graphics settings, anything like that, but, you know, scrolling in and out there, you can see it's not really very smooth, so not a clue what's causing that. It is what it is. I've even turned, like I said at the start of the video, turned the refresh rate down on my monitors, hoping that the graphics card doesn't need to push so much stuff out. I wonder if it's anything to do with Volanta, to be honest. Here we go then, getting up to 36,000 feet. There in just a moment. The aircraft will probably wind the engines back slightly just to keep us in cruise. But there we go, everyone. We have now reached 36,000 feet. We've got Mach Alt. We should have Mach Alt cruise any second now. There it is. Mach Alt cruise. 0.783 Mach at the moment. Fantastic. Right, I'm going to go and do my usual, have a drink, get a snack. Hopefully the same thing doesn't happen that happened last time. I'm not going to touch my PC, I daren't. And yeah, enjoy the cruise, everyone. Okay, we're still in the cruise here at 36,000 feet, and it's time to start getting everything ready for basically our arrival into the airfield. So we want to look at the arrival METAR. We'll get that updated on there. As you see, QNH is 1005, so we're going to put that in on here. We're going to quickly whack it to that and then go back to standard. Lovely jubbly. We need to also put that in on the MCDU. God, the frame rate, man. Been pretty horrific today again, which again I don't know why. I've had a little look. I know you shouldn't really pause when you're on VATSIM, but I've had another little look into my graphics settings in the meantime and put everything back down to medium, and it just is what it is. It's 19 degrees, 260 at 8, so it's 19 degrees and it's 260 at 8, so we need to put that in. Cool. And then we need to look at the minimums, so we need to get the charts and everything up. Excuse me. Let's go to this. We're intercepting at 3,000 feet. Minimums are going to be, oh goodness, 252 today. 252. Barrow minimums. Nice. Okay, while you're here, I'm going to do this and show you, look. Right, I've got everything on. Let's go to just medium, shall we? Let's just go to medium, and we'll turn off things like the motion blur and the depth of field. We don't want them on. I don't really care about light shafts or anything like that. Ray mark reflections and cube mount reflections can come down to low. Wait, hang on. Is that bloom? Oh yeah, bloom we want on. We want light shafts off. And then everything else just stays as it is, look, right? It's just on medium. And It's still jumpy, but it's actually a little bit better, which is really weird. We are prepared, basically. Prepared for the way down. Can't really say anything much more than that, to be honest with you. The aircraft seems to be moving around a lot there. Why is it suddenly going so fast? The aircraft suddenly just... Oh, it's because it descended slightly. Why is it descending? Whoa. Something happened to the aircraft then, didn't it? That was really weird. What was that about? Okay. It's fine. It figured it out. No, look, once again the frame rate is gone. I don't know what it's doing that's causing it. I've got next to nothing open. I've got Volanta open. I've got V-Pilot open. I wonder if closing Volanta would make much difference, but to be honest, I don't think it will. I'm going to actually have a quick look at Volanta, to be honest with you, and see what the traffic is like at Hamburg. So let's click on Hamburg itself. Live traffic. There's a lot of people on Volanta going, and there's actually quite a lot coming in on VATSIM, to be honest. There's someone coming in from Munich. Someone coming in from wherever EICK is. 2 people going in from Heathrow. Okay. So there's quite a lot going on into to Hamburg. No tower or anything online that I can see at the present moment. There's ground at Hanover. No centre or anything on. So not a huge amount of ATC today. Got a friend request. Chef Aviation. There you go. Been in the air for just 53 minutes so far today. So not a long time at all. It's not a huge flight, this one, to be honest, but we've still got a while yet before we actually descend. Let's have a look on the berth page, shall we? Top of descent's in 49 miles. We need to figure out what we're actually going to go down to be honest. We need to have a look, don't we? Nolgo is 11,000 feet to 4,000. You need to be above 4,000 at DH 609, above 4,000 at DH 657. So it looks like, to be fair, we need to just get down to 4,000 feet. Well, that's fine. We've got loads of time to get it down, so we'll tell it 4,000 feet. We'll pop that into here. I'm scared of dragging too much. We'll tell it 4,000, and we'll do that in an open descent as well to get it down quickly. And then we'll get the aircraft to manage the descent from there. And then we'll get the landing system and stuff on. We're going to go auto brakes. Oh, God. Low today. I think it's a pretty long runway at Hamburg. What else do we need to have on here? I don't think there's anything else at this moment, is there? We're not going to arm the ground spoilers yet. There's no point arming them this early on. Right then, 6 miles to top of descent. Thought my game froze. Let's get it into open descent, shall we? Pull back on that, get the aircraft in open descent. See what it'll do then to get us down to that 4,000 feet before we get in. We're going to change this now to 40 miles. We're going to put the constraints on so we know what the situation is. Keep the terrain on the ND. And let's descend into Hamburg, shall we, everyone? I've noticed at this point the aircraft is, oh God, slightly above profile, but it's catching back up with it a little bit. I was just going to say, do we go into a managed descent for a moment, but I'm not going to do so. I'm just going to leave it as is at the moment. I do wonder, you know, whether the frame rate issues I'm having are down to the PC not being cleaned in a bit. It's been a little while since I've cleaned the thing out, and it is a little bit dusty in there. It's not too bad. I've seen worse, definitely, and I'm sure you all have as well. But I don't know if that's having much effect on it at the moment, so I know that I'm building a new one, but maybe when I take this one out, I might just give it a clean and see how it runs beforehand anyway. Still, that's for me to worry about and not you lot. Let's continue descending. Okay, we're beginning to see a bit of land now, which is nice. And we are at 16,500 feet, coming in towards Nolgo, where you have to be under 11,000 feet and above 4. We've told the aircraft basically go down to 4. We're going to let people know in the vicinity that we are planning to come in. I'm just going to check on V-Pilot that we are going to transmit. Let's just let them know what arrival we're on. I've not looked at any of these lists in quite a while. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's just how it goes sometimes on these flights. What's the QNH down here? Apparently, oh, it's not 1011. Sorry, I was looking at Frankfurt earlier on. It's 1005. Volanta has a great thing where it tells you what the QNH is from quite a distance. We're going to choose a stand actually before we get in, and we're going to go to stand 61 today. Just the one that jumped out at me most, stand 61. And in terms of the arrival, nothing really to worry about, is there? We need to put in that our squawk has been 2000 all the way here, and that seems all good to me. So we're going to let them know on Unicom what our plan is. Hamburg traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel on the Nolgo 3 Papa arrival for runway 23. Hamburg traffic. I don't think there's anybody anywhere nearby at the minute, so we seem to be okay. That's the runway, so it is just over there actually, but obviously there's not much in the way of visibility of it right now as we go through the cloud. The aircraft will manage all of this down towards 4,000 feet, so we're going to tell it managed because we're above profile here, I've noticed, so yeah, it wants a bit more drag. Yeah, it wants 220 knots here soon. It's going to shallow out the descent, so yeah, let's put some speed brakes in. Going to put the seatbelt signs on now and the landing lights on. Get everybody to sit down and shut up. There we go, it's dropping speed nicely now. However, we are a little bit high at the moment, so we may need to extend slightly when we get closer to, but that's absolutely fine. We're going to be turning right here. Yeah, it thinks that we're going to get to 4,000 feet there just before the runway, but we will need to be at 3,000 there. We're catching up to that profile nicely now. You see the green dots coming up. Good job, aircraft. In the flight plan as well, we're going to take out the discontinuity between these two waypoints here. We're going to clear that, and then we're going to have that as the plan. What are you moaning at now? I want managed, please. So we're turning right now, and we're going to be downwind to the airfield. We're going to get to 4,000 feet in plenty of time by the look of it. We're going to do 220 knots. We'll tell the aircraft that we want that ourselves as well, so we can now take care of the speed on this part of the arrival.
Progressing Lufthansa 1 to Alpha, joining base, runway.
Hamburg traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, downwind to runway 23 now. We'll extend if necessary. Anybody in the vicinity?
We're traffic Lufthansa 1 to Alpha, we're joining the base now at about 5,000 feet. We'll be on the base in 4 minutes.
No problem at all. We'll extend if necessary. We'll keep an eye out for you.
Cheers, appreciate it.
Didn't hear a word of that, but still, let's have a look. I think it's this aircraft here, Lufthansa something. Yes, 12 Alpha. So they're coming down this way, and I think they're going to... He said turning base now, I think. I think, to be honest, we just need to keep extending and just keep an eye out on his position. Not quite sure what their arrival is going to look like compared to mine, but it is what it is. They're going to be out here somewhere. But that's fine. We can continue to lose height. The aircraft is under profile, so it's losing height very smoothly, and it's doing the job at the minute. We're going to go flap 1, because why not? We can do. We'll put landing system on as well. It knows exactly what it wants, which is great news. Makes me happy. We've got to be at 220 knots there, so then we'll go down to 170 at Pisas, and then, yeah, we'll carry on from there. The aircraft knows all the restrictions and things, so we'll keep ourselves up to date with that. Thanks once again, Niklas Hartlef, for chartering. Okay, so I'm 12 mile final now, so that's good.
The cabin is now secure for landing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to give you a bing bong, didn't I? There you go, love. Okay, so what lights do we need on up there? Nothing that I know of, to be honest with you. Yeah, a quick shout out to Niklas Hartlef for chartering this flight, and the previous one as well. Big shout out, thank you so much, Niklas. I really appreciate the generosity, not just chartering one, but 2 flights at the same time as well. I had another flight come in as well the other day that somebody had paid more than I asked for it, and I was very, very grateful for that. James Harrison, he sent a flight in. James, the flight will be done in time, but I think it's 8th in the queue at the moment, so I do apologise for the wait, but thank you so, so much. Your generosity is hugely appreciated, everyone. Really do appreciate it. So that aircraft is now on 12 mile final. I do not see them on here, though, which concerns me. But, yeah, we are descending very nicely at the moment. We're going to fly this full path, we may as well, and then we will get down to the necessary altitude. I'm going to put it into local pressure as well, which is 1005. That puts us slightly below profile, which I'll always take. We're about to make our left turn now at DH615. We're going to arm the speed brakes because I don't think we're going to need them anytime soon. We're flap 1 at the moment because we're still doing 220 knots, so we don't need to go flap 2 yet. Lovely frame rate out of the window, how cool is that? Hamburg traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, turning base now for runway 23.
And Hamburg traffic, North Rider 1123, we are descending to flight order 110 inbound Bogma for Bogma. 3 Romeo, they're arriving for runway 23.
Cool. It's nice to get some other voices on Unicom.
Correction, Bogma 3 Papa arriving for runway 23.
Nice to get some other voices on VATSIM this afternoon. No ATC on, unfortunately, but that's absolutely fine. So we're staying at 220 knots here because it's a restriction there at DH657. At that point, we decel the aircraft. We're going to get to 170 knots by PSAS. We have told the aircraft to manage the altitude, so it knows that we want... oh, actually, no, I'm going to tell it 3,000 feet because it says you've got to be above 3,000 there, but it knows we have to be at 3,000 at PSAS, so it would take us down there anyway, to be honest with you. And then we will begin our approach in. So, at this point, speaking of beginning our approach, we're going to click approach. It's got it. Cat 3 single. Barrow minimums 252. Let's just make sure on the checklist that we have everything sorted. So, we have the cabin crew are advised, auto throttle. Yep, we've got the speed in there. Auto brakes as required. We've got them on low. Flaps are set at present. Speed brakes are armed. Landing gear is not down just yet. But ECAM is no blue. Visibility is no blue as well. The aircraft's got the localizer. It's just popped up on there, on the PFD. Hamburg traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, runway 23, fully established, 20 miles to run. There's an aircraft to our right hand side apparently. I don't see them on VATSIM though, on Volanta anyway. But they're 4,500 feet above us, so obviously of no concern to us. Okay, the aircraft is getting to DH657 where we've got to be above 4,000 feet. Told it above 3,000 feet at CI23. We're going to get to 3,000 at PSAS, but to be honest, I want it a little bit sooner than that. 220 knots, we now need 170 for the next part of the arrival. Engines have gone to idle. Speed is dropping on the left-hand side, as you see here. When it gets under that orange marker, we'll go flap 2. Glide slope is coming down as well, so we should grab that any moment now anyway. We intercept that at 3,000 feet. Ready to go flap 2. 3, 2, 1, flap 2. What are you moaning at now? 3,000 please. Speed is 170. Drew wants 180 till 6, he usually says. I say that in every flight so far, I'm so sorry. 15 miles, we'll tell them when we're 10 miles out. We'll be capturing the glide slope shortly though. When we capture the glide slope, we'll go flap 3, put the gear down. I'm really enjoying myself so far, it's going nice and smoothly. Aircraft is powered up slightly because we are flap 2, but we could go flap 3 and we're at under 180 knots, so realistically we should bring it all down. But we're just going to wait a few more moments till that glide slope comes in. You see the purple diamond. We should get GS, descent and GS there. GS, there it is. Okay. Flap 3. Flap full, gear down. Hamburg traffic, ITARROW 2 November Hotel, 10 miles to run, fully established, runway 23. Okay, everything is ready to go.
Hamburg radar, North Rider 1123, established on the localizer, distance 21 from the threshold.
Don't know what he said. 2,500 call out. Let's have a little look out the window, shall we? It's all murky. No runway in sight just yet. Wow, the visibility is quite poor, isn't it, here at Hamburg? Feeling good though. Got all my checklists and everything out of the way. Well, I'll say out of the way, they're just down here. Hands will be going, well, hands on the stick already. We'll be on the controls in just a moment. when we kick the autopilot out. This has been a really lovely, straightforward flight, this. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Hamburg traffic, ITARROW, 2 November Hotel, 5 mile final, runway 23. Hope you're enjoying this one, everybody. I have thoroughly enjoyed this one. I like it when it all comes together. I do plan on practicing the 737 a lot more before I fly that pig again. I promise you I will get it right at some point. We've got another aircraft behind us I can see on Volanta. Not going to bring that up just now. Just going to focus on landing this thing. We're at just over 1,200 feet. We'll get the 1,000 call out not too far from now. Cabin's ready, spoilers armed, flaps are full. Landing gear is all down. Ready? 1,000.
1,000.
There it is. Autopilot out. It's going to beep its head off. Yep, that's fine. And now, because we can't see a thing, we're going to fly to the screen. We need to put our VAP in. That's what we haven't done. Jesus. Speed is too high at the moment, actually. That's one thing I forgot. But it's alright, the aircraft will glide it down. We've still got a mile or so. A little bit below glide slope, frame rate going to pot. Nicely done, aircraft.
100 above.
Runway in sight. We're low,
Minimum.
but we're continuing. We're low, but we've recovered.
100.
It's going to come swooping down now. There we go.
50.
God, the weather's terrible here compared to how it was at the other end.
20. Retard. 5.
Not bad at all. On to reverse. That wasn't too bad considering. I know we were a bit low on the glide slope, but when haven't I been? Ground speed is 60 knots. Spoilers away. Yes, 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 I know. Don't moan at me. Shut up. Manual braking, we're going to turn left here. Or are we? No, we're going to roll. It didn't slow down then. Wheel brakes were not doing their thing. Hamburg traffic, ITARROW, 2 November Hotel has vacated runway 23. Flipping heck. Ooh, a bit bumpy off there. Flaps up. Let's just park it off here for just a moment. God, the wheel brakes really aren't doing their thing today. They are not my friend. Okay, so we'll go up top and we'll turn the nose lights to taxi. Landing lights come off. Runway turn-offs will put on. Strobe goes to auto. Seatbelt signs will remain on. We'll put the APU master switch and then the start switch on. Basically cleaned everything else up, haven't we? We put that to TA, put that to auto, and we'll figure out where we're going to be taxiing, shall we? We're going to basically just go down this taxiway, aren't we? Where did we vacate then? Delta 3. That's pretty poor, actually. That's pretty poor. I let it roll a bit further than I should have done. So we're going to go Delta 1. I'm going to write this down, actually, because it's a hell of a taxi. So we're going via Delta 1, Golf, up this way, and then crossing runway 33, so runway 33, and then in on Zulu 1. Zulu 1, Zulu 5, Zulu 4, wow. Hamburg traffic, ITARROW, 2 November Hotel, taxiing stand 61 via Delta, Golf, Zulu. Well, it's a shame about the weather, isn't it? But I quite like it when it's like this, you know. I think Flight Sim looks a little bit better when the weather's not perfect all the time. There is a 747. Hello. Very nice. We should see another aircraft landing, actually, while we taxi down this way. We'll keep it nice and slow on the taxi today. But yeah, a very enjoyable flight, I think it's safe to say. So we're going right here on Golf, which takes us up to the other end of the airfield. Pretty sure that you probably have to stay down there unless you're coming onto this ramp, but we're going to make our way up here anyway. There's the tower. Be cool to get Hamburg in Tower Simulator 3 actually. I think it'd be quite an interesting airport because it's a weird shape despite the... well, there's not a massive amount of traffic here. I think the shape of it would make things quite difficult to manage. We need to activate GSX at stand 6-1. Going a little bit quickly on the taxi right now. We are gate... oh, do we get gate or is it parking? 61 Alpha. Condor. Anyone landing? Oh, hello. I think that was Lufthansa that's just been in after us. So we've got to go all the way up here before we then cross runway 33. We'd have to cross it anyway. We'd just be doing it down there. It probably did make more sense to go down there, actually. But oh well, we're going a long way. Going up Golf. Okay, we're just going to cross Hamburg traffic, ITARROW, 2 November Hotel, crossing runway 33. There's nobody on arrival, I can tell you, via Volanta as well. We're going to get on with it though. Nice and quick. Round to the left. We should have landing lights on actually as we cross a runway, but it's alright. It's not going to ruin anybody's day by not having them on. A few bumps here and there, bumps and lumps. So then we're going to go left this way onto Zulu 5, and then we go Zulu 4, which is the right-hander, and then Zulu 1. What is it? Yeah, Zulu 1, Zulu 5, Zulu 4. I think that was Zulu 1 we were just on there. Now we're on 5, and then we're going to go right. Ah, so you're supposed to go on these blue lines, look. A lot of airfields are doing this whole blue and orange thing, where you get aircraft going one way and then the other. I didn't realise that's what I had to do. I thought I could just go in from the yellow, but things you learn. Stand 6-1 is just on our right-hand side over there. You can see the tug and stuff just out of the right-hand window. So we'll slow it down. Turn the runway turn-offs off. Turn the taxi light off. We'll put the APU bleed on. APU is now started. Let's swing her in. Very slowly. Put a little bit of left engine in because otherwise it's going to come to a stop. Get around, pig. There's the aircraft that came in after us. I don't think it was Lufthansa or anything. I think it was like North Flyer or something. I think it's a fantasy airline, a VATSIM airline. Stay on the centre line here. God, it really don't want to move. I'm not holding the brakes or anything. Just go. Now we're going too fast. Oh no. No, 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 no. I'm not going to get this right. Ah, 0.2 and 0.0. That's fine. Pop the parking brake on then and bring up the list. So we have the nose light, which is off. APU bleed is now on. Engines basically come off and that's it. Let's just make sure we have APU available. We absolutely do. So we'll just turn the engines off in a second, shall we? And get a good view on that. So, engine 2 and engine 1. Okay, now the engines are off, seatbelt signs can come off, beacon light can come off, and we'll put all of the fuel pumps off as well. What else needs to come off? I can't really think of what else needs to. But it's requested deboarding, so we'll get everything sorted in terms of the cargo doors and all that. Deboard. The doors are opening, that's nice to know. Okay. And welcome to a rather gloomy Hamburg, everybody. Thanks once again, Niklas Hartlef, for chartering this flight here today. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. It went a little bit Pete-tong at the end with the speeds and stuff, but I like to feel like I've got a good handle on the Airbus now, and I can enjoy every flight that I do in it. I really do love this aircraft. Still, there's many more charters still to come. I hope you're enjoying these videos here on Microsoft Flight Simulator. This might be the last one that I do on my old PC, so we'll have to wait and see how quickly I get the new one up to scratch and built. But thanks so much for watching as always. I hope to see you in the next episode, and have a wonderful day.